Back on the 442, the car was in position, so we just knocked this quarter down, and we're gonna get all the metal work done, get the body work roughed in, and then we'll switch the car around. And at that point, 90% of the rust, if not more, will be taken care of on the car. I don't know if you can notice the difference in image quality. We're gonna be trying to go to 4K here. I'm using a Sony AX33 camera. I'm trying to bring you guys some of the best image quality. There were a couple spots behind there that were weak, and I opened them up with the die grinder, and I'll patch at the wheel well before I do the quarter. There's like a seam sealer or something inside here. I picked it all out so it wouldn't light on fire when I weld this. In the wheel well, I'm going to weld this up from the back some. I'll die grind both sides of it. But this factory undercoating is falling apart. Big glob of it down there. I'm going to chip that all out of there right now. Wheel well's looking pretty nice down there. It's welded up. Got the front and back knocked down. Got the pinholes up there. I just knocked this off, and I'm pretty sure they put these together with like seam sealer or something. But we'll get that cleaned up and do a couple similar patches there. Got you guys in 4K.
What are you doing?
4K?
Filming. Yeah. What do you think of that?
Pick up all the details on our face.
Come on to this area. Paul doesn't like when I'm patching it. He wanted me to do a big thing, but this metal's all fine. This will be an easy patch. Over here, the wheel well is through right there, so I'll have to touch that up. I want to get this all strengthened up, and then we're going to have to do a patch here. The wheel well's actually through right there too. Maybe a little patch there. Right here's the opening, and they had that plugged with that seam sealer. I would have been able to shed water there, along with that hole right there. But that opening down there is at the lowest point.
So he's eliminating these rusty spots that he had down below here. And right here you'll see the back support. This whole jam is doubled up. So when you slam the door, you got some substance. You know, if it was just one layer, the whole thing would wobble. So between the two sandwiched pieces of metal, you get strength. So if you did a side impact, you know, it's not just going to cave in on you.
These patches are all made. I sprayed some of this on there, trying to protect that metal underneath where we're going to make the patch.
You'll see this in a lot of these shows that are on TV about fixing up cars, and they use weld-through primer, whereas if you used regular primer, it would be getting in your weld and be flaring it up. This is designed for it, so it's about the most you can get for protection when you're doing a patch like this that you're not going to be able to get to afterward. Some guys use melted Vaseline and they spray that in there. That'll all be after we can get as much paint taken care of, and then we'll try rust prevention after that.
Working in the back here. I started this patch by welding this because I need a really good seam here. I'm going to blend this in the inside so you can't see it when the trunk's open. And then we use the old stud gun. Got this pulled out. We'll weld her up. We got these patches fully welded in. This was bubbling out in a couple spots, so I cut it out. You can see the inner wheel wells rusted through here and here. So I do a little patch work before we patch the lip. We got the metal work here roughed in, and the wheel well is patched and sprayed with rust reformer. Let that sit overnight, then shoot some weld through primer on it, and then patch that up. This bottom edge still looks factory. And we cut all the weak metal out here with some heavy pitting behind there. We got all the really bad stuff. The tricky part is this patch here, we had to make it in two pieces. So this is a separate piece. And we did that to match the driver's side. And this is how it was. It's gonna be a lot of grinding. Should look something like this when it's done. So I'm gonna put the camera away, do a bunch of grinding. Once that's done, we'll start popping these dents out.
Yeah, we just found a score up in town of Oshkosh. It's kind of a drive, hour and a half. We went up there and guy had all these parts which are getting hard to find.
This is a 1 year only gauge with the gauge package. You can see it has a temperature needle, oil pressure needle. Unlike the standard gauge, that was just the fuel and then the idiot lights. Really, we went up there to get this, and then he had all this other stuff. We needed these. These are 73 and 74S only panels. If you recall, there's a big speaker hole cut in our upper panels. And they're black. Hopefully we can get them fixed up. They had a black dash. It's pretty good shape. All this stuff needs to be cleaned up. It was sitting in the loft of his attic for years. And kind of got forced into a package deal and had to get all that stuff. I was inside editing on the new Ryzen 9 supercomputer for this 4K stuff, and I realized I never got a finished shot of this stuff over here. Just gonna try to get a shot of some of the finished product here. This turned out excellent. Actually, that whole area turned out really good. Here's that patch. Underside turned out pretty decent too. We'll bring you up to speed on the rest of this. Got a little action going on the bike here too. Try to bring you an update on that pretty quick.
We're starting the driver's side quarter panel. The other side was all patched and everything, so then we rotated the car around, and now we'll start this side, and that's the only place where we had metal patching to do. And then once we get all the metal patching to do, then we'll jump around and be doing Bondo spreading every corner. You know, you just keep on working while one's drying, you jump around. But you'll see how some people will do some quick work just to sell it. And this guy like slid a piece of tin back here, you know, from behind, and he shoved this up here, and then this was, it's been picked out, but this was just shoved full of Bondo, and this is where the lead joint is. And this is where more water got in around the window. Okay. Boy, that was some tricky work. And then it does look like somebody put a bird turd spot on it to hold it in place.
So I've been working on this thing. I finished these circles off. We're talking about it. We don't even know why they're there. And I didn't want to bore you, but I got this channel all done. Same way as the other side. And this is the last of the rust on the car. Doesn't look that bad from this side, but you can see we got a Sharpie here and a Sharpie here. You can also see this is like an overlap point where they've welded. Well, on the inside it looks terrible. So I think I'm gonna cut it like here and then splice a whole piece in here. Probably gonna try to save this overlap point. It's pretty strong there yet. I'll have to grind away at it, see how it looks. The rest of this lip looks really nice. So looking forward to finishing up this rust repair. I cleaned up a spot on the wheel well. I think I'm gonna put a brace from here to here. It's probably completely unnecessary, but to strengthen that area up while I cut metal away. Just trying to keep everything located exactly where it is. Got all the rust cut out there. Yeah, this is still good and solid, right in here. We'll have a look at that from the inside. Here's my brace. But I took the die grinder all over that, got all the crap away from it. There's gonna have to be a couple beads here, one on the inside and one on the outside. A lot of cleanup. So my plan is, I'm not gonna use this area where all that lead is. I'm gonna cut a chunk out here and fit it to that. I'm gonna clean up our donor piece here, and this actually rusted also underneath that lead. I'll cut it generous on the inside and generous on the outside for fitting. It's gonna leave me with a perfect rolled edge too, so it should look pretty good, I hope.